The Catholic Church views marriage as a sacred and unbreakable bond, a sacrament instituted by God. This sacrament unites a man and a woman in a lifelong covenant of love and life. To ensure the validity and recognition of this sacrament, the Church has established a specific form for its celebration. This is known as canonical form. Canonical form safeguards the sanctity of marriage. It ensures that the marriage is witnessed and celebrated publicly within the Church. The form typically involves a Catholic minister, 2 witnesses, and the exchange of consent according to the rite of marriage. This public and official setting emphasizes the seriousness of the commitment being made. It also ensures the marriage is recorded in the Church's records. This process provides clarity and stability for the couple and any future children. However, the Church recognizes that life is complex. There are situations where strict adherence to canonical form might be impossible or create undue hardship. That's where dispensation from canonical form comes in. The Catholic Church is comprised of various rites and traditions. The 2 primary branches are the Latin Church and the Eastern Churches. These branches have their own codes of canon law, the Code of Canon Law, CIC, for the Latin Church, and the Code of Canons of the Eastern Churches, CCEO. Both codes acknowledge the need for dispensation from canonical form under certain circumstances. However, the criteria and procedures for obtaining this dispensation differ between the 2. The CIC grants the local bishop the authority to dispense from canonical form when grave difficulties exist. This could include situations like mixed marriages where one party is not Catholic. It could also apply to cases where adhering to canonical form would cause significant hardship or jeopardize family relationships. The CCEO has a more stringent process. Dispensation from canonical form is reserved for the Apostolic See, the Vatican, or within their territory, the Patriarch or Major Archbishop. The grounds for granting dispensation under the CCEO are also stricter, requiring a most grave cause. Regardless of which code applies, obtaining a dispensation from canonical form is a formal process. It begins with a petition to the appropriate authority. This petition outlines the reasons for the request and provides supporting documentation. The petition must clearly articulate the grave difficulties or most grave cause that prevent the couple from marrying according to canonical form. The documentation might include proof of baptism, confirmation, and freedom to marry. The authority reviewing the petition carefully considers the circumstances and the arguments presented. If the authority deems the reasons valid and sufficient, they may grant the dispensation. This dispensation outlines the alternative form of celebration that the couple must observe. It's crucial to understand that a dispensation from canonical form does not change the Church's teachings on marriage. It simply allows for a different form of celebration while still upholding the sacramental nature of the union. In India, the Catholic Church has specific guidelines for Latin Catholics seeking dispensation from canonical form. These guidelines were established by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, CBCI, and the Conference of Catholic Bishops of India, CCBI, in 1988. According to these guidelines, dispensation is granted primarily in cases of mixed marriages. Even then, it is only given for grave reason. The guidelines emphasize that some form of public celebration should always be prescribed, even when a dispensation is granted. The guidelines also address situations where the public celebration of marriage might involve participation in non-Catholic or non-Christian religious ceremonies. They urge caution and adherence to the principles of communicatio in sacris, which govern interfaith interactions. So what happens if the canonical form is ignored? Well, the consequences can be quite significant. Firstly, the marriage may be considered invalid within the Church. This means that, in the eyes of the Church, the marriage never actually took place. Additionally, this can affect the couple's ability to participate in other sacraments. For example, they might be unable to receive communion or have their children baptized in the Church. Ultimately, ignoring the canonical form can lead to a range of spiritual and communal repercussions. In the realm of canonical law, invalid marriages pose significant challenges. It's crucial to understand that an invalid marriage lacks the necessary elements required by the Church. These elements include proper consent, the absence of impediments, and adherence to canonical form. Addressing these issues is essential to maintain the sanctity and order of matrimonial unions. Sometimes mistakes happen unintentionally during the marriage process. These errors can range from simple documentation issues to more complex procedural missteps. The Church provides mechanisms for rectifying these mistakes, ensuring that the marriage is recognized and valid. It's important to address these errors promptly to uphold the integrity of the sacrament. There are times when the validity of a marriage may be uncertain. In such cases, it's vital to investigate and verify all aspects of the union. This includes examining the intentions of both parties, the presence of any impediments, and the adherence to canonical requirements. Ensuring validity in these situations protects the spiritual well-being of the individuals involved. Consulting with knowledgeable authorities is paramount when dealing with complex matrimonial issues. Canonical experts can provide guidance and clarity, helping to navigate the intricate aspects of church law. This consultation ensures that all actions taken are in accordance with the Church's teachings and uphold the sanctity of marriage.